With so many movies being released this year, the one that has stuck out is the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Exploring such an immense world allows for a lot of unique situations, but we want to know, with all the problems that need to be solved, which characters have the most brains. I'm Kyle with Wicked Binge, and this is the Super Mario Bros. Movie Dumb to Brilliant. Before we begin, consider this your spoiler warning. With that said, let's jump in, starting with the dumbest character, and working our way up to the most brilliant. The dumbest character, without a doubt, is Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong first pops up in Act 2, as the son of the King of the Jungle Kingdom. He's a showboating wrestling ape who fights Mario during their time in the Jungle Kingdom, and he seems to pretty easily win most of his battles. He's shown to never give up when he has the chance, as he continues to swing at Mario, despite very obviously dazed and at a loss. After the Kong army decided to work with Princess Peach and Mario, he continues working as a rival to the Jumping Man.
Now you die.
Donkey wins over crowds, but he's also very unintelligent. There are moments where he fights with Mario despite there being a bigger threat, and even argues with the man who saved his life just because he was annoyed. However, he was intelligent enough to at least come up with the plan to rocket out of the giant whale's belly with his extra rocket from his cart. He ends up saving Luigi and others from being sacrificed, using his strength, but the way he acts makes it hard to say that he's intelligent. He sort of fits the himbo trope, a big, buff, dull, sweet guy who seems more interested in working out and fighting than anything else, hence his ranking. Moving on, we have Foreman Spike. Foreman Spike is obviously the foreman of Wrecking Crew, where Mario and Luigi worked before the plumbing business got started. He's rude and annoying, as he constantly makes fun of the two, even to the point where he nearly harms Mario for harming his ride. He doesn't get a lot of screen time and doesn't seem totally incompetent. However, he seems to think that he's the smartest person in any given room, which is oftentimes a sign of the exact opposite, though he is one who first congratulates Mario when Bowser is defeated, which does at least show some character growth. Moving on, we have the Penguin King. The Penguin King is the first heroic character we see in the film, as he's the leader of the Ice Kingdom that Bowser takes over at the beginning of the movie. He makes small appearances in Bowser's prison from then on. He believes that he and the penguins are more than capable of fending Bowser off, and while initially it seems this may be the case, he does so with a volley of weak snowballs that barely matter. In fact, even the biggest weapon that the army has barely even harms a single Koopa. He then stupidly asks Bowser if he will yield, which leads to him not only being defeated,
Do you yield?
but losing his superstar and then being imprisoned. Maybe a bit surprising, but Mario makes his way into the next spot on our list. The Brooklyn-based plumber that gets sucked into the Mushroom Kingdom after going to investigate the sewers. Now, Mario does a lot of stupid things for heroism's sake, such as heading into sewers to inspect a leak despite all the flooding, or fighting Donkey Kong to get the Kong army. These seem to be for good reason, but they're also really dumb, because most of the things he does, he thinks he needs to. Mario, however, does show to have a lot of instinct and street smarts, because he knows how to do a lot that may not be taught in school, as he knew how to fix things that others struggled with, and was capable of fighting pretty well.
Meow.
Mario also shows that he's capable of finding alternate paths when possible, as he was more than happy to accept changes to his situation when they come up. All that said, Mario's best trait is not his intelligence. It's his willingness to do whatever it takes to make sure he helps as many people as possible, whether that be fighting Bowser or plumbing throughout New York. Mario is a good guy, just not the smartest. From Mario to the mushrooms, up next on our list is Toad. Toad is one of many multi-generational and multifunctional mushroom people known as Toad. He is amongst the squad of heroes who travels across the lands to stop Bowser, and is the one who initially greets Mario when he arrives. He seems to be relatively intelligent for the most part, although he continually messes with Mario in the beginning, and makes decisions that most people wouldn't, such as his massive car or how he reacts to fights. Toad is also brave to the point where he's actually dumb.
I fear nothing.
Such as telling Peach he won't let anyone harm her, despite that being very difficult for someone like him. But we will say that Toad is smarter than Mario, simply because of experience, so he was able to make himself a useful guide. From Toad to Troopa, next up we have Blue Shell. Blue Shell is the unnamed Koopa Troopa with a blue shell that attacks the Kong army, and everyone else on Rainbow Road during Act 2. He uses the massive cart breaker to destroy most of the carts throughout the road in an attempt to kill Mario. He seems to be rather intelligent, although he doesn't seem to notice that Mario survived his crushing, and didn't sense the incoming rocket from Donkey Kong. However, he was smart enough to commit emit a massive suicidal blast by turning into a shell and destroying the leading cart, which ends up destroying most of Rainbow Road. This attack definitely would have been useful against anyone else. He just got really unlucky with who he was facing. Jumping to Cranky Kong, better known as Donkey Kong Sr., is the king of the Jungle Kingdom and the original Donkey Kong from the arcade game. Specifically, this is vaguely the same character from Donkey Kong Country, despite some differences. Cranky leads his army with an iron paw, and is well known for not allowing his army to be spread to other kingdoms despite knowing the possible consequences. Sure, Cranky's strong-headedness can be seen as a problem. However, he uses his intelligence in a very interesting way. He knows that Bowser is dangerous and is willing to provide help only if someone can beat his son, which is highly unlikely, and a surefire bet for most cases. Cranky also sticks by his words and uses a shortcut to try and ambush Bowser, and knows what needs to be done to defeat a reptilian king. Sure, Cranky, as his name implies, isn't particularly all that helpful, nor is he nice, but he knows when to join a fight and how to fight against the tyranny of Bowser in the right way. Taking our 4th place spot, we have Luigi. Luigi is the younger, taller, greener brother of Mario, and our secondary protagonist in the film. He helps Mario with his plumbing business and seems happy to help his brother when the time comes. During the intro, where they have their first major plumbing job, he does stumble and bumble a bit, causing the dog to attack them, and he shows his competence for the most part. When he's summoned into the Darklands through the warp pipe, he manages to escape from the mass of dry bones chasing after him.
You just got Luigi!
However, at first, he does try to fight the respawning creatures with very little success. Now, Luigi spends most of the film locked up in Bowser's prison and is unable to escape due to how the cages are hung above the flaming pits of lava inside the Bowser ship. Luigi's cautiousness, often mistaken for being a scaredy cat or worrywart, is actually a sign of his intelligence, showing that he's more than capable of knowing how to avoid being attacked by those who could come to face him. Sadly, Luigi doesn't get nearly as much screen time as we would have liked, and as it stands, the end of the film shows that Luigi is willing to sacrifice himself for his brother, as he jumps in front of Bowser's fire breath to block it from hitting Mario despite knowing it may harm him. When he and Mario touch the superstar, the two of them face off against Bowser and prove that they're not only capable, but exceedingly smart, as they know just how to take down the giant fire-breathing lizard. Luigi is smart, exceedingly so, but his fear tends to lead him to make dumb decisions. Taking our bronze medal of brains is the big boy, Bowser. Bowser is the king of the Koopas and the main antagonist of the film, as he's trying to take over the entire world. This extends to stealing the superstar from the Penguin Kingdom, and he's attempting to use the superstar as a gift so he can marry Princess Peach. His whole plan stems from the idea that he would not only marry Peach, but then rule the world with her. However, like most smart villains, he knows to always have a backup plan, as he will destroy the Mushroom Kingdom if it turns out that Peach won't marry him.
Open the gates!
However, you'll notice he only takes 3rd place, and that's for a relatively good reason, as Bowser spends most of the film trying to get Peach to marry him, even though at the end of the film it's very clear that Peach doesn't want to do so. Although Bowser obviously doesn't know this, as when Peach asks, "Did you think I would really marry you?" he answers in the affirmative, thinking that she really would despite evidence to the contrary. In fact, most of the film has Bowser acting sort of like a jealous boyfriend, as he only really wants to harm Mario once he realizes that he and Peach seem to like each other. However, Bowser did make a lot of smart moves, such as the ambush on Rainbow Road, or the capturing of most of the Kong army. Bowser does let his heart do more thinking than his brain during the marriage scenes, however. When it comes down to it, he was capable enough to harm and nearly kill both Mario and Luigi, and if he had somehow managed to obtain the superstar for himself, he would have been unstoppable. Snatching our sterling silver medal of smarts is Kamik. Kamik is a Koopa wizard, and if the movie is keeping in line with the story as we see in the game, the adopted father of Bowser, though that may not be the case. He works throughout the film as Bowser's chief advisor, spending most of his time helping him on his quest to marry Peach. He's shown to be smart, as he's the only one capable of using the magic abilities we see in the film, and he knows how and when to tell Bowser hard truths when necessary. Sure, he does play along with Bowser's quest, but this seems to be more of a need to make sure Bowser's happy, rather than ruin his day or life with the truth. But real quick, before we get to our last century. If you're enjoying this video and you want to do us a huge favor, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. We ask because we'd really appreciate the help in getting to our next milestone, and we have a ton more content in the works that we can't wait to share with you. Finally, taking our gold medal of intelligence is none other than Princess Peach. She spends most of her time rallying to face off against Bowser, and she is by far the most intelligent character in the movie, because not only is she starkly intelligent in the traditional sense, but she's also the most capable character in the film, willing to not only fight, but also work hard to do whatever needs to be done. Princess Peach grew up in the Mushroom Kingdom and does plenty of things that prove her intelligence, such as helping Mario in his training or knowing specifically how to get the Kong army to help her. In fact, she even goes through the motions of marrying Bowser to save the Mushroom Kingdom, although she was capable of tricking him by hiding an ice flower in her bouquet to use against him.
No pressure.
Peach definitely has the most brains simply because she has it all. Street smarts, formal intelligence, formal schooling, and experience. She's been training and learning in the Mushroom Kingdom since a young age, so it's no surprise she takes the gold medal of brains. But let us know in the comments section if you agree with our ranking, and tell us what we should cover next. But most importantly, stay wicked.